What is going on, everybody? floopydonkey here, and you know that the Panthers are my favorite team in the NFL, and they just made a very huge trade that is going to change things for the draft and for the foreseeable future for the Carolina Panthers. They just made a trade with the Jets for Sam Darnold for 3 draft picks. You see here reported in ESPN that they have traded their number 3 overall pick from the 2018 draft, and they receive a 6th round draft pick this year, along with a 2nd and a 4th round draft pick in the next upcoming draft in 2022. And, well, it's pretty obvious that the New York Jets are going to be drafting a quarterback in the upcoming draft. 2nd overall pick, probably going Bryce Wilson. That's probably a no-brainer at this point. But now this leaves some doors open available for the Carolina Panthers. What are they going to do in the draft? Are they going to go with a quarterback? Are they going to maybe go with the quarterback? Are they going to try to get Sam Darnold some offensive line help? The Panthers have needed offensive line help for quite some time. You can go back from basically since Jordan Gross has left the Carolina Panthers. Or are they going to continue to give Sam Darnold some weapons? This is arguably, without a doubt, the best. This is not even arguably. This is the best weapons surrounding cast that Sam Darnold's had since he's been in the league. So maybe we can see Sam Darnold's true capability on a short-term contract without giving up too much. You know, obviously the Panthers did not give up nearly as much as they would have given up if they'd have gave or tried to trade for Deshaun Watson, which was what they were really hoping to get. But this brings up a really interesting story. Who's under more pressure now? Is it Matt Rule and the new GM, Scott Fitterer, or is it going to be Sam Darnold? I mean, Sam Darnold does not have very long to go. His contract only will run through the 2021 season, and it sounds like from Jonathan Jones has already told or reported that the Panthers will pick up the 5th-year option from Sam Darnold. So the Panthers are going to get 2 years rookie contract with a young quarterback, see if that's going to be possibly the quarterback of the future for the franchise, and then move on from him. I think this is actually a solid pick by the Carolina Panthers. It doesn't put a lot of pressure on them to go out, give up a lot of draft capital, and they have a lot of good young talent on this team. And to try to get a quarterback in the draft or trade for Deshaun Watson, I was very skeptic of Deshaun Watson. I'm a huge Deshaun Watson fan, but I thought that they were maybe going to have to give up Christian McCaffrey or a very young, maybe Yotur Gross-Matos, somebody like that on the defensive side of the ball, and just give up way too much for Deshaun Watson. And I think this is a good decision by the Carolina Panthers and the new GM to get a quarterback who's going to be around for 2 years, see if he can blossom into something else. If not, you've got this draft and next year's draft to hopefully find his replacement. And you see here the tweet by Ian Rappaport. It says that when Matt Rule interviewed for the Jets 3 years ago, he did a virtual meeting with Sam Darnold, who asked about team culture and discipline, not scheme. And then Darnold knew the importance of getting the building right. That made Rule an instant fan, and now they're together. So maybe there's some ties there with Matt Rule and Sam Darnold. He got a really good first impression of him 3 years ago, and wants to kind of see if he can change maybe Sam Darnold's outlook and prospects into his NFL career. So what that does tell us is that the Carolina Panthers did not like their options at quarterback, which means Trey Lance and Justin Fields. They were not very heavy on that. So we're going to do just up until the Panthers draft. Now that they've got Sam Darnold, and we know the Jaguars are going to go with Trevor Lawrence. Now we've got the Jets up. We know they're going to go with Zach Wilson now. I mean, they need a quarterback. Who are they going to go with? Now, this is where things get interesting. The Atlanta Falcons reported today, I think, or maybe yesterday, that they were looking at potentially trading down. So now this is a very interesting decision. Who do the Atlanta Falcons go with? I personally think that they're probably going to want to go Kyle Pitts out of Florida. That would be my decision for them. So we're going to go with Kyle Pitts. Obviously, there could be a trade there, but we're not really sure. Actually, this is the San Francisco 49ers. They actually wanted to go with Mac Jones. So let's get him brought in. Now we've got the Falcons on the clock. We'll go with Kyle Pitts. I think that just makes the most sense. Now, of course, there are some teams probably like the Denver Broncos who are going to want to trade up, but I don't see any other team jumping ahead of them to get a quarterback now, because we still got Justin Fields and you still have Trey Lance there. Now, unless they really feel like the Bengals or the Dolphins, the Lions, I just don't see either one of those teams getting a quarterback. Maybe the Panthers will still end up drafting Justin Fields or Trey Lance. I just don't see it. I think the Bengals are going to go with Jamar Chase. That's how I feel about it. Now here comes the Miami Dolphins. I think it would be absolutely ridiculous for them not to get Penei Sewell, but they also need wide receiver help, and they need to get some help on that side of the ball. But again, I don't think they really are going to want to go with Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith, and I think you just can't miss on Penei Sewell. So then that means the Lions are on the clock, and I think they will go with Jalen Waddle. Now that means that the Panthers are left here in a really good spot at number 8 with Justin Fields and Trey Lance on the board. Now, if there is a team, maybe like the Washington football team, maybe the Raiders would want to trade up, maybe the Patriots. So there are a few teams, maybe even the Vikings. Maybe they're tired of Kirk Cousins and they want to move on. Maybe the Eagles. Who knows what the Eagles situation is? So there are some teams that possibly could trade up. Maybe that's where the Broncos want to jump ahead of all of these teams and try to go with and try to trade with the Atlanta Falcons. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see what the Panthers will go with here. You know, you see wide receiver, tight end, and corner. I would love to see Kyle Pitts drop to the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers really need a tight end after Greg Olsen has left. They've not been able to fill that void. But, you know, maybe getting Micah Parsons, I think, would be an absolute steal of a draft pick. I think that would be really cool. Or not a steal, but I think that would be really great value there. Other than that, maybe Rashawn Slater and get some help on the offensive side of the ball. But I'd also like to see J.C. Horn. I think he's a really good corner and could fit the Panthers scheme very well. But let me know down in the comments, what do you think of this? How do you think this shakes up the draft? I think it's really going to change a lot of things. I hope that the Panthers will have something better than Teddy Bridgewater. I was not a fan of Teddy Bridgewater at all. I think Sam Darnold's still young, developing. I don't think he's ever been surrounded by the weapons he has here now with DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. They went out and hopefully are going to secure up that line. They got Tyler Moton back from free agency. So there's a lot of things to like, but there still are some question marks for the Panthers going forward. Again, I'd like to know your thoughts on them. Make sure to subscribe down below. I will be doing a Panthers rebuild on Madden with Sam Darnold. I think that's going to be really fun to do. So stay tuned for that. Smash that like button. Let me know that you enjoyed. Also comment down below on what you think. I'll catch everybody later. Floopy Donkey out.